Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're just playing with some makeup. My look might not end up turning out so great because I have like intentions of trying to figure out some things. I have just some questions I need answered. We're not making like any final decisions on product today. I was realizing just that some of the things in my testing drawer could be dupes for each other, or not dupes, but like might be close enough that I don't need to keep both if I was considering to keep one of them, and I just want to get ahead of that. And then also there were just something I just like wanted to do. So it's like we're it's like actually the epitome of playing with makeup, where it's just like this, not to get the look, there's not a look that we're trying to get at the end here. It's just like I'm trying to compare a couple of things, but not my entire face. So we're just gonna get into it. But if you are new to my channel, hi, thank you so much for clicking. My channel is really about loving my makeup collection as it currently is, while being critical of new makeup releases and trying to be considerate about what I actually do decide to invite into my makeup collection. I still do reviews occasionally, but I just try to make sure that I just try not to promote like overconsumption is what I really tried to do. If that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. And I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's absolutely no pressure to. It's just there if you would like to support. And thank you to all of my current patrons. I appreciate you. Right? Right? I don't know when my merch is going live, but I was very pleased with this sample. I love it. I won't share any of the other ones as I get them in, but I just wanted to share something because I was like pretty pleased with it. I saw it and I was like, I'm cooped, I'm gagged. And I just needed to share the excitement with you. I'm gonna be using a lot of Kaleidos stuff in this video because I'm hoping to use it a couple more times and then be able to communicate with you like what my final thoughts are with it sooner rather than later. So that's what we're doing. You're gonna see a lot of the Kaleido stuff and I feel like I haven't used my Kaleido stuff in some time. Also, I think what I want to do, I'm gonna do an eye shape I haven't really done in some time. It's gonna be like the OGs will remember. Health check. I am feeling much better. I think I'm in my final day of just like drainage, it's like, I think it's out of my system for the most part, but I did also just eat dairy, like some kind of dimwad, but there was ice cream and I had to. Am I setting myself up for failure? Always. How is everyone? Let's just checking in. This weekend I lived in a lot of like sorrow, but so someone I've started following because I follow Kaki, I'm gonna put their IG up on here. Anyway, they had posted on their Instagram stories that they were watching iZombie, and then I had like a That's So Raven brain blast where I was like, oh my god, I watched that, but I like don't remember finishing it. And I was like, I need to see this vision through. And so I started watching iZombie again. It's so good. I don't know why I stopped watching it. And the thing is, I think I even like went so far as to purchase the series, like not series, but some of the seasons, because it wasn't available on streaming. Not all of the seasons were. I started watching that over the weekend, and that felt really good. I really had a good time. iZombie is made by the same people. Well, like I think it's produced by the same person who made Veronica Mars. I love Veronica Mars. Although I haven't touched down on Veronica Mars in some time since they did the additional season on Hulu, which I'm not sure I liked, by the way. I mean, I liked it up until the very end. I didn't like the way it ended. Sorry, it just didn't. And I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but Veronica Mars is certainly worth your time if you've never watched it before. The way it ends, I was just like, are we doing this? The other thing is, that was it. You know, that was the end of it. I will never know peace now. But I don't think that the reboot killed it, although a lot of people do. A lot of people didn't like it. Anyway, so I was watching iZombie, and that was fun. But I also kind of just like napped. I've been in and out of napping. I'm also learning, because if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at hautemesstom if you really want to follow me there. You don't have to. But just in case you would want to and haven't yet, that's where you can find me. I started listening to audiobooks. Had an audiobook phase in the past. I really did. But I like kind of stopped because I wasn't having fun anymore after a certain period of time, because I was listening to memoirs and then I couldn't find memoirs I wanted to listen to, and so then I was like, well, this time I'm trying like queer fiction. Also, if you have any good queer fiction novels that I should check out, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm genuinely queer ones, or just like your absolute favorite books. But I'm in the market for I want queer story. I just kind of want it to be queer stories. But if you have a book that you think that I will absolutely love, or that you think is like worth my time, let me know. I will take it into consideration. So I feel like for a long time, or like when I've tried to read books in the past, I feel as though I never felt like anything was something that I couldn't finish, and I just kind of like forced my way through all of the books just because I was like, well, I made it this far. And so literally last night, I was falling asleep and I had an audiobook playing, and I like really don't remember actually the act of stopping like fucking around on my phone and actually just like having my eyes closed, because I woke up in the middle of the night. Okay, so when you get to the end of an audiobook, it like changes and it like music normally starts playing and it's like, this book was recorded by so and so and like published by so and so. And so it doesn't sound like the cadence isn't the same as like whenever just the person who was reading the audiobook to you. So I woke up and I was like, oh, I guess I fell asleep while I was listening to this book. And I actually wasn't really enjoying the book. The book was like, it's called Less. And so I mean, I actually really can't give you I was listening to it, but I also like wasn't really enjoying it too much. And so it was just kind of like happening to me. And I was like trying to push through it because it is a series. There's more than one of these books. And I thought, well, it has to get good. And I made it, so it was an 8-hour book. And I, you know, because that's how they do it when you're listening to audiobooks, how they track your progress. So I was like at the 6-hour mark when I fell asleep. And that was like the last time I remember like looking at the timer. I still feel like I was like, I wasn't getting anywhere. And that's like a lot of time to commit 6 hours to a book and still feel like I'm not getting any value out of this. And so when I woke up this morning and realized I have like, you know, recalled that I woke up in the middle of the night and heard that the book was over, and I didn't feel compelled to circle back. And I just returned it to the library. Honestly, I just like didn't think it was very good. I felt power in that, but not like deranged, like, ha ha ha, I beat the system, but just like, I'm proud of myself for not feeling like I needed to like circle back, you know, and waste my time that way. So I started a new book, and I will have to put the title on the screen for you. I'll just put the cover of the book on the screen. And I don't know where we're headed, but it has to do with like death and the afterlife, which it's, I mean, like in all of the marketing it says that, so I'm not like really spoiling anything, but I don't know, I have no idea where we're headed, but it has to do with like, you know, there are Grim Reapers involved and other things. It's been very funny. It's been very funny. I mean, obviously there's some like, you know, commentary about like appreciating life while you have it, obviously, like that's one of the themes. But my favorite thing is just that it's so funny, and it reminds me, if you recall Dead Like Me, I loved that show. I adored that show. For better or worse, I like followed it till its like very bitter end. Whenever it like, there were like this was the straight to DVD movie, and that honestly wasn't very good. However, I loved that show. And so if you liked that show and you were looking for a book and you haven't read whatever the book I'm reading is called, real informative, I recommend it. I mean, I haven't finished it yet, so it could tank. It's also really long. It's definitely the longest audiobook I've tried thus far. Like it's 15 hours. And I would say right now I'm about 3 or 4 hours in. I'm not really sure how far I am. And what I'm learning is there's something about queer stories. And I couldn't even tell you why I borrowed this book that I'm currently reading. I must have found it on some queer list. I will tell you that I have thus far, there was like vague mentionings of the main character being gay. And I mean like truly vague. Like they were so vague. It happens and it's such a flash. It happens in like one statement. So I don't know if they're gonna be queer as I continue, but like there's also something very queer about like the fascination with like the afterlife. That's like a thing. I don't know if you know this, if you're like familiar with Dead Like Me, but it was created by Brian. Holy Fallout, Jesus Christ. I very rarely experience fallout with mats. Even when people say they experience fallout with mats, I don't normally have that issue, because someone asked me if I got a lot of fallout with the Ethereal Eyes palette from Makeup by Mario, and I don't have that issue. That's also the first time it happened to me, so maybe I overdid it on the brush there for a second. It's all right. This is why I do my eyes first anyway, just in case of emergency. The show Dead Like Me was created by Brian Fuller, who is a gay man, and and like horror is like really, a lot of queer people are very into horror. There's like there's this like weird I think James Somerton, oh god, if you don't follow him, or if you want to learn more about queer things, even if you're not queer, he makes some of the best content. He did a whole video, and it's like probably about an hour long. His content tends to be long, although I don't know how much longer we're going to be graced with his content because the algorithm doesn't favor him. It's starting to seem like it's not worth his time to do it anymore. Something happened with his Patreon too, which I don't know. Anyway, go check out his video content on that if you want to learn more about his financial woes. But anyway, I hope he keeps up his content should he choose to leave, which I don't want him to. I think he provides a lot of value on youtube.com. He did a whole video on like why queer people are attached to horror, and like kind of did like this like a really long video about like the history of why that is, and it's incredibly fascinating. I don't remember all of like the points he makes, which is why I'm just he's going to explain it a lot better than I'd ever be able to explain it. That's why you should check out his content instead of listening to me going, it's really really queer how queers love horror. iZombie, I mean, in case you don't know, it's about like this woman who becomes a zombie. But like the way zombies are in the universe of this show is like, there was only like one person who was like a zombie that you would like think of whenever you see like a George Romero movie or something like that. The rest of them, they're just like people, and it seems that they can, for the most part, like the zombies can control their urges. Anyway, very fun. Also, I highly recommend Dead Like Me. Just at least the seasons of it, not the show. But like also something happened with Baron Fuller after like one of the episodes, and he like stopped being really involved in the show, but his name was still on it because it was like it was his concept. Can you tell that I had like a moment with that show in a past life where I was just like very obsessed with it? There's some television recommendations for you. I'm not done with iZombie, but I'm having a good time revisiting. That was really nice to revisit that this weekend, even though I was really just like kind of like laying around. Well, I did record and edit a video all in one day, and that felt good because I feel like my energy's back. I felt like a little lethargic today, but I think it's because I tried so hard yesterday. Like I got a lot done. Okay, and then I'm gonna take Ice Blink from Seeking Shifts collection with Shine by SD, and I'm gonna just throw that on top. I probably will never actually put these Seeking Shift shades in with all my other single shadows, because I love to use them as like topper shades. It's like my favorite way to use them has been just as like beautiful topper shades. That one actually kind of overtook the purple, which I'm kind of surprised by because I've used this as a topper before. But look at this eye. Whenever I'm done with a look, I feel like I'm like, well, if I need a little more razzle dazzle, I just like having them on hand, and I keep them in this top drawer, which they shouldn't live there because my top drawer is really dedicated to things that need to be in-depth reviewed. And while technically these are still to be reviewed, here's my review. If you've been waiting to hear, they're awesome. They're really awesome. I highly recommend them. They're some of the most ethereal, sparkly eyeshadows that I own. And you can apply them sheerly or you can apply them at full opacity. It absolutely took these eyes to the next level. And I don't think you or I can sit here and say that anything but that happened, because it's exactly what, like, it made it better. So I only have 5 of the shades, but I like them all. I was expecting to like Nacre a little bit more than I ended up liking Nacre. And I wouldn't say that was a disappointment. I thought it was gonna be different, but it shows up, like I've seen other people use it as a topper, but it shows up like more of an opaque green on me. And so I don't really know, and not that of course a sparkly green is not something that I'm gonna kick out of bed. I was expecting it to like look different. I don't know. That was like a me thing. That's not a problem with the shadow. It's just like it didn't end up being the color that I was expecting. And that's not the fault of anyone else. That's like my fault. I wasn't really paying attention. And that was the only one that I would say, like, I don't even want to say I regret it. It's just the one that like turned out not my favorite. To be not one of my favorites of the group, and I thought it was gonna be my favorite. So there's layers to this. I'm also gonna take Space Age in an effort to throw this on my face. I'm gonna put this on the inner corner. I try so hard to like get sparkles off my... If I just committed to using a brush to apply my primer, I think my life would be easier. Here's what will happen. And here's what I know is going to happen, is if I try to do that, I'll forget that it's my primer brush and I will use it for something else. And then I will go back to remembering that it was my primer brush and that was like supposed to be my intention of that. And then I would try to put primer on, and then like it would spread whatever the remnant of the thing on that brush would be. I think you're seeing where I'm coming from. The next thing is really... It's one of the moments where we're battling things out. So what I'm gonna do is prime my face with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, because we're doing a foundation battle on my eyes. And it's not really a battle because of my eyes, on my face. So it was like really warm this weekend, and then like kind of most of last week it was very warm. And then it's 50 degrees today, and everyone's kind of complaining, and I get it, okay? However, it shouldn't be 80 degrees, in my opinion, in April. It just shouldn't. I want it to be like in the 60s, so it's still a little too cold for me. But I think we should be more alarmed than pleased. And like there was like one 80-degree day, but like I had air conditioning was on last week. It is April. And so if everyone's dream came true about the weather and it was 80 degrees all of April, that just means it's going to be 100 degrees in the summer. And I do not want it to be 100 degrees this summer. Some of you might live in areas where that is normal. That is not normal for me. I can't do that. Like, I literally can't do that. Like, I couldn't take that. Okay, and I want to go out more this summer. We've already discussed how I wanted to go out more this summer. I need everyone to want it to be whether it should be in April, okay? We need to get on board. We need to stop climate change. I mean, we do. I'm not trying to really be facetious about that, but also, can everyone just let's let it be spring. And spring kind of is known for having volatile weather. And the weather is volatile. I don't want it to go back to freezing temperatures, but also we can't control that. Also, that's very normal for spring in this area. So hope weather is treating you kind wherever you live. Okay, let me explain what we're gonna do. So, as you may know, or may not know, the Surat Dewdrop foundation is my favorite foundation. There is a foundation that I'm currently testing, this Chanel Sublimage Le Temps, which I bought I bought because I was interested in it, but the trigger pulling reason was because I was doing a collaboration with Kaki, and we have a lot of similar favorites. And so I bought one of her favorite things, and then she bought some of my favorite things, and she bought some because we tried to make it even so that she spent around the same amount of money that I had spent for the video. Anyway, all of that being said, I've been enjoying this. And I don't think it's gonna overtake the Surat. I think it's important to see them next to each other. For you and for me. You might be saying, we're comparing apples to apples here because both of them are expensive foundations. This is $75. And I know that's way more expensive than a lot of you want to spend, especially because I know a lot of my audience is not all about foundation. Well, foundation is perhaps my favorite category of makeup because I think it is what makes everything come together. It's the moment for me, foundation is the moment. I know a lot of you are not interested in foundation, except for some of you are. Some of you are just as into foundation as I am. And so this is for us. But this is $75. This is $15 away from being double this. So I just want to see them next to each other. And I don't think they do the same thing. And I just want to prove that to myself. So I think it's possible. I think it is truthful that I like both of these. I just want to see them on my skin next to each other. Now, so that means the foundation, I think they're pretty close. I think we're going to get close in foundation, but it's possible that, the sides of my faces are going to look a little bit different as far as shades because, you never know. Okay, I'm scared. Who's scared? I'm scared. Okay, I'm going to start with the Surat, and we're going to do Surat on my right half of the face. So it'll be your left. If I were a fish, then everyone would say, look at that fish. I need to be very conscious while I'm pumping this out that I don't need a full face worth. Okay, this isn't going to be entirely scientific because my brushes aren't very clean, but it's okay. All right, so I'm going to put that on. And this will help us I don't think either one of these are particularly full coverage foundations. But if there is a difference in coverage, we're going to be able to I'll see it a little bit more. I still have the fish song stuck in my head. There's the Surat foundation. I feel like I always take out too much of the Sublimage Le Temps. And I feel like I tried to get it so little out just now, and I still feel like I got way too much. One thing I don't like about jarred packaging is just my control. It needs to have something where I can say, less, note to self, brushes need to be washed. Also, the way this is blending it's not blending really pretty because of this brush needing to be cleaned. It is not the fault of the foundation. This is obviously not the first time I've worn this foundation. So here is the Surat. Here is the Sublimage Le Temps. So the Surat obviously is more dewy, which is the Dewdrop foundation. So this is the Sublimage Le Temps. It's just more of a skin finish, and I also feel like it has more coverage than the Dewdrop. And I mean, it's not super matte, but here's the deal. As I'm looking at this, I'm looking in the monitor, I'm looking back, I'm looking in this monitor, and I'm looking back. Here's what's kind of happening. I like the Sublimage Le Temps better on camera, but I like the way that the Surat looks better in real life. I do think for right now, as these are sitting on my face, that the real difference here is just the finish. But this feels like it has more coverage, but I might have just put more on too. That's also a possibility. So in real life, I like the way that my pores look better on the Surratt side. But I would say, overall, it's a pretty even match. I stand by that the Surratt just has more of like a blurring property than the Sublimage, which feels like it has more coverage. But it's not enhancing my pores. I don't want you to think, like, it's not that drastic of a difference. It's like, I think you saw how long I had to get into my face to be like, really, what's the tea here? We're really in the final countdown here. There's not too many, like, great big lumps of creepy crime and coconut? Great big globs of, wait, what is that song? Comment down below. It's turning into, I'm just gonna keep putting more on my brush than I usually would use. It's gonna be Snatch Summer. Not because I do work out, but like not because of working out. I'm gonna be Snatch Summer because I'm just using so much contour. I'm just trying to get through it. I'm trying my best. Also, that brush needs to be cleaned too, so. I normally clean all my brushes at once, but as I'm commenting on them, it's like one of those things where I always feel this way about when my brushes get dirty, where it's just like, they're fine, and then there's just like one day you come down to do your makeup and you start using them and you're like, it's time, and it's really sad when that happens on camera. If this is an LGBTQIA novel that I'm reading, if it is, I know who's falling in love. And I don't think they're supposed to be falling in love. I think it's gonna get them in trouble. I don't even know if it's a love story. Like, I don't even know if that's something that's gonna happen because it's about, like, the afterlife. But, you know, you never know. One can never be sure. So I posted this on my Instagram that, like, I've been reading more. And I was just, like, willing to take recommendations, but just know that I want books about queer people fucking. I'm gonna talk about Drag Race for a little bit. I feel like at this point, you either know or you've done some kind of wizardry to not have found out. But I want to discuss it just a little bit. I didn't watch the finale because as I was getting ready for, well, I normally watch the show on Saturday. I would never really watch it live, and it hasn't really been a problem. And honestly, I don't really care about spoilers. I think they need to do a new finale system because I really was like, I don't need to watch the finale. It doesn't matter. I just want to know who won. And so by the second day, I just went on Instagram and went to the RuPaul's Drag Race Instagram, and they do say spoilers, and they like give you a countdown like whenever you go to their page. And I saw who it was, and then I saw that they lip synced for the crown. Here's the thing. That was really exciting the first time it happened. It was really smart, but did kind of like mess it up too. And listen, I know I'm in the minority with what I'm about to say, but I don't know that I thought that Shea Coulee should have won season 9, but that's my opinion. I think that Shea is very talented. I'm not trying to take any of that away from her. But, like, they kind of ruined that for Shea. If they wanted Shea to win, they kind of set up this wild card thing, and it was really exciting, and that's why Sasha Velour ends up winning, right? Because Sasha was able to, like, make a moment, like a true moment out of that new format. And again, I didn't watch it, but as I understand, like, no more lip syncing to win. That's undermining the success of people who are able to do other things. The reason everyone got so mad about the way that the All-Star 7 with all of the winners shook out, Jinx did a really good job. And it, like, arguably, like, Jinx, should have won. I agree that Jinx should have won. But then you make it questionable whenever you choose to do these, like, lip sync formats. Like, based on the lip sync, of course Jinx didn't win a lip sync against Monet Exchange. And that's okay. Like, they don't have to be the skills, but then it's just, like, you're left with this, like, feeling of, like, did the right person win based on the criteria of the lip sync? And it's like, is that all you're basing it on? Like, it's just like you're confused. It's confusing, and you shouldn't. Also, the final lip sync song was "Knock on Wood" by Amy Stewart. I love that song. I'm not coming for that song's gig, by the way. For a finale song, it's like whoever picks the music is just not good at. They don't pick up very good timing for the songs that they have chosen. So, like, they picked Running Up That Hill for one of the lip sync songs, and I, of course, have a very personal investment in the song Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I love Kate Bush. I think we've covered this before. They used it at a weird time. I think unless you are a fan of Kate Bush, it'd be really hard to lip sync that song. And what I mean by that is that if I had to lip sync my life to Running Up That Hill, how I would make it interesting is obviously you couldn't do the choreographed dance because you would need a partner that happens in the music video. I would do like my attempt because I'm not like a lyrical dancer, but I would do an attempt at lyrical dance because like that's what was in it. But they both kind of like stood in place and like sang it like a ballad. But something, and again, this is because I'm a Kate Bush fan and I understand that, but like what's something pivotal to Kate Bush's early career is that movement was very much a part of it. Like movement was thought of every step of the way. It's online. It's very easily, you just like, there's like a recording of Kate Bush doing her only tour back in the day. And everything from start to finish was like so intrinsically thought up. And she dances through like the whole thing. And so like, it's like important parts. So to lip sync to Running Up That Hill and just like, you know, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me. And it's just like, those are not the two people that I would have chosen to lip sync that song to. Anyway, it's like you sometimes get the rights to good songs and you don't know when to use them. Like, I think Knock on Wood is a great lip sync song for like the first half of the season, not for the finale. And I'm like so anyway, I'm just bitter because my favorite didn't win. I knew that she wasn't. Okay, like I knew that as I said, spoilers ahead. I knew Mistress wasn't gonna win. I knew that. But that's who I loved. That was my heart. And I knew in my heart of hearts that it was really Anitra or Sasha's. Also, I heard, again, I didn't watch this episode. I just watched the finale lip sync. Something went wrong with Anitra's performance that got her to the final lip sync. And Mistress's was better. That's what I heard. I think Sasha's a great winner. And I'm proud of Sasha. And I'm excited to see what she does. Very excited. I just feel like they had such an exciting top four, and the top four deserved a better finish than what this finale could have provided. But again, I just think that they don't know how to do the finales. I think they need to shorten the finales. I don't need an hour and a half of finale. I've spent 16 episodes with these people, so I feel like I have a good grasp on them. I think us asking these softball questions in the finale is not furthering the plot anymore. I just kind of want to know who wins. They could just do like maybe an hour, but I'm thinking I could do a half hour. Okay, where the first thing you tune in, we find out who's crowned, and then we all debrief. You know, and that feels good. But like, that's not what, I don't know. I don't know how to fix the finale. All I know is that the finale is broken right now. The way it stands, the finale is broken. We're on to our next like two things. Duping it. So this is from Kaleidos. This is Dreamwalk. This is one of their blushes. And Sarat was kind enough to send me 3 of these blushes. Now, they're not exactly the same. Well, it looks more like the center one. So I'm gonna put those on my cheeks. I'm gonna put Kaleidos on this side, and I'm gonna put Sarat on this side. Or maybe I'll put Kaleidos on this side, and then so this will be the Sarat side of my face. It doesn't really matter. It's like not important to the purposes of the video. It doesn't really matter. If they are very similar, I know which one I'm gonna keep of the two. I mean, I think it would be pretty obvious to anyone, but I just want to make sure that that's how I feel before, like, I want to put them on my cheek and make sure that they are similar enough that I won't miss the one by keeping the other. So that was Kaleidos. This is Barba Papa. It's Barbea Papa from Sarat. This has a shimmer to it, so obviously it's like not exactly the same, but if the tone reads the same on my cheeks, that's gonna be enough for me. Like, I don't think I need to I don't think I would need to keep both. But this has like a blue shift to it. Yeah, those aren't very close at all. Okay, that could warrant keeping both. Okay. Because here's really what the thought was. If they were close enough that I didn't feel like I needed to make sure, right? I don't really have a lot of pink blushes in my collection. These are both in my testing drawer right now. But my thought is that if they were close enough, I would just keep the Sarat palette for pink blushes. But I think it's different enough. Because this is really, 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 it's like a slight flush of pink on me. So it's like not going to do what this can do. So I might keep all of them, actually. TBD on that. TBD. I really love I love this. I mean, I'm also very into this. But like, there's something about this. Just like sings to me. For a highlight today, I'm going to use the Fenty Diamond Balm, which I haven't really pulled out in some time. But I think it would go good with this like intergalactic look. You know, this nice wet look highlighter. I know this isn't everyone's gig, but sometimes it's mine. It's not all the time. But sometimes when I'm feeling at my most alien, this is what hits. Oh, look at the way it goes into Barba Papa. Barba Papa. That's what Lizzie McGuire was talking about. This is what Lizzie McGuire was talking about, okay? Not Hilary Duff, Lizzie McGuire. We cannot say kind things about Lizzie McGuire. I mean, Hilary Duff. That's a personal thing. You can speak kind things about Hilary Duff. I actually don't care. Just a personal thing, okay? Like, I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's a personal vendetta. What's a lip sync for your life song that you would want to see that hasn't been done? Mine, obviously, the thing is, if you pick a song you like watching Running Up That Hill get performed the way it got performed, like, kind of hurt me on the inside, really. It really hurt me in a very real way. Like, I was like, oh no, I don't like it. No, thank you. So, like, I would really love to see How to Be a Heartbreaker by Marina. And it would be that or Prima Donna if I had to pick. And now I'm fairly certain that an international season did a Marina song because I think it was sent to me. It's just like, who's going to be able to do it other than me? Who's going to be able to do a proper lip sync for your life to a Marina song other than me? That's who's going to do it. No one but me. I am number one. I'm the only one. Okay. I'm gonna do my tight line with this, my waterline with this. Chanel, when I bought the Sublimage Le Temps, they sent me a sample of their mascara. I like it a lot. It's not good for me or my wallet. I mean, actually, I don't know how much it is. I would guess it was around $30, but maybe it's more. It could be more. I internally really say that my cap for mascara is $30, which I even know is more than most people would spend on a mascara. The wand is really bizarre, but it seems to do like, oh god, it just makes my lashes look so good. I don't know what else to say. I just really like the way it makes my lashes look. Like, it's not the most intense lash. I don't know what it is about this wand. Like, I get like almost no clumping, and it feels like I should only get clumping. And I love it. It's the Chanel, and they might have more than one. It's the Chanel, Le Volume de Chanel. And I think it's really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put on the Kaleidos lipstick. Okay, here's the final look. So let's just go back to, I really think, I don't think they're exactly the same. I think the reality of it is I still think I prefer Surratt overall, but I still really like what's happening over here, and both things can be true. I can like both. I just think they're a little bit different in their like application, right? They're just like a little bit different. The highlight though, oh, it's Barba Papa. I don't know. There's something about that blue shimmer and that blush that like takes me there. It takes me there. It takes me to the next level. It makes me go, ah! And then with the blushes, yeah, I think both are very different. I thought they were going to be closer than they were. But this is why we did this. This is why we did this today. And then my eye look is pretty thick, thanks to Ice Blink. I think it would have been pretty boring otherwise. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. But if you are new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe if you vibed with today's content. I think it's not always like this, but we do a lot of like just playing with my makeup that maybe is new or maybe is old, but like mostly to, we're just hanging out. So if you want to come hang out more often, subscribe. If you want to take it to the next level, there's also Patreon, and patrons are going to get first go at these whenever they do go live. And it's not going to be too much of a lead in, but it's like if you're interested, like it's not really, it is, my patrons I think should have first access to it, but everyone's going to have access to the same things, okay? These are not patron exclusive merch. I can't do that. I would never do that. Make sure you like this video before you leave it, by the way. That really helps me in the algorithm. And yeah, that's it. Remember to follow your hote, and you will find me. I will see you in a video very, very soon. Bye-bye. Hooray!